Thank you very much, guys. Yes, Mirage coming up next as our third and final map here between these two titans of teams who have been battling it out. One a little bit longer than the other. CyberZen going 3 maps in their first match of the day. But the winner of this moves on. The loser, unfortunately, has to go home. Tom, moving into Mirage, what are your thoughts on how this match is going?
The thing that sort of worries me quite a lot is the fact that CyberZen did not play this map well earlier in the day. Like, it was really, really scrappy, and they ended up losing to someone who's far worse than the side of Grayhound. So I'm not sure what to expect anymore. Like, obviously, they're built in throughout the day. They played a lot better than they did earlier, but if it's anything like the map they played earlier, I think they're absolutely screwed, because Grayhound should have this Mirage dead to rights. Either way, look at the stack. 4 players here on the A site, and the T's have walked right into it. It's going to be a almost flawless round. Only Dexter left, and he's not in a position to defend or fight for this bomb. 1 minute 20, though. That's the only good thing.
Only.
He doesn't even have armor. And now they know where he is.
So it's just getting worse for him as we realize as the noise is being made.
I'm sure that's the face he's probably pulling right now. Just like, oh, God.
It still will never be
Bondic.
Yeah.
I knew exactly who you were thinking of. You kept mentioning his face in that picture.
Great. He needs
really?
To yeah. It's up to me again. The CyberZen start off strong here, getting the first round, getting the pistol round done and dusted with and under their belts. An M4 picked up for Bottle. And, you know, I kind of agree, like, with what you were just saying with your sentiments, that if CyberZen play pretty similar to how they did in their first match against Katowice Club, Grayhound should win this. But honestly,
they haven't been playing like that for a while.
Yeah.
It's been the same sort of style, but they've been much better at doing it. I think that's the best way to put it. Like, they haven't been losing so many ridiculously stupid rounds, and they've been winning a lot that they never should have had. So that's what made that last map so exciting and so close. Now Savage with a chance to make some dollar, but he's going to be overwhelmed by the players in mid. They don't really want to lose too many players here. Sterling's actually managed to get a double. Both players want that gun so badly, they're even just going to sort of kiss in the air, and Bottles got the chance to retrieve that weapon. TB with a SMG as well. They had to do the same. I imagine they'll juggle that rifle down. You know, at least that's going to be kept, but even still.
You know what kind of sucks is that if they just decided who was going to go up a little bit quicker, I think they would have been able to rescue that gun and get away.
Yeah, probably. I'll be honest, I didn't see whether or not Bottle was already there, but I would imagine probably not.
It would have changed the round.
No. But even still, it's like, I felt like Sterling earned it, if I'm being honest. He's got both the kills, like, give him the rifle, but he is also the AWPer, so arguments either way. But we do have our buy coming in. Of course, these extra kills have made things a bit more interesting when it comes to the CyberZen economy in this round. And, well, by the looks of things, this time HZ is going to be the one pushing into middle. They're going for the same strategy. The flashbang catches him completely blind. I think Dex is a little bit confused as to where he actually went. And he even has some support now. There's going to be 2 players up here. Molotov trying to actually force back a different angle.
100%. Bottle had to have spotted him there when he went for the shoulder peek.
Yeah, I think he knows, but it doesn't matter. Dexter will decapitate him anyway, and the rest of the team in the meantime are pushing in onto this B site. Viva trying to do the work with the MP9, the one detriment they really had in this round, and Dick Stacy not only kills him, but HZ goes with him. Not quite sure what Mortal was looking at. He saw a ghost.
Scooby's not here, I'm sorry.
That's a shame. He was here before.
He was. So Grayhound, surprisingly enough, able to get the bomb down, and most likely the round. I'm surprised, considering the aggression we saw to CyberZen. That flashbang that came out to blind up HZ, if that was not there at that time, he would have most certainly have gotten the first kill. And most likely would have been able to turn this into like a different situation for him. So credit to Grayhound to be able to escape. And again, Dexter hitting that great shot as they pushed up on him. So CyberZen going to save these 2 weapons into the next round. Grayhound going to keep all 5 alive, most importantly. Now they have a chance to build up some economy here for their side. And they're going to need it. I think after that last map, I mean, even they have to get a little bit exhausted after that Inferno game. And
they're only on to their 3rd map of the day.
Yeah.
This is CyberZen's 6th. Yeah, they've been in for the long haul. Some of it I feel like is through their own creation. Like, if they just managed to win the first series 2-0, it wouldn't quite have been as long haul. But, hey, it's all extra practice. They definitely seem to be fragging well in the last map. Whether fatigue will start to play, who knows? But then again, I've always heard that a lot of the Asian players practice a bajillion hours a day, so probably not. Either way, nice start. Bottle as well through the smoke is able to catch off one. They've got a couple of players with pistols. They didn't even fully invest into this round. Now, that's a surprise for me. Just that alone, that they didn't fully invest. They had a couple of players on 4K. They decided just to go with the couple of rifles and the couple of pistols. And you know what? So far, so good. And Savage is not done. He's still continuing his push. They've got ramp being taken as well. This will give a lot of information over to the positions that the T's are not. However, the question is, do they know where they are?
I think we just heard that one player in the middle. Oh, that's a brave thing to do, especially since, I mean, even I heard the player running in the middle, so.
I think the problem I have is if you peek the left side, don't then
yeah, because you're exposed to the right.
They've already been like, he's there, and then you go, hello, like, surprise, and it doesn't work too well.
Well, Grayhound now tying things up with 3 left. Also going to try to fake a sort of push in towards the B site, which actually forced Savage to pick up the pace to rotate in from behind the bomb. In the meantime, going to be heading over towards the A site where HC is going to be in. The call has been made for Savage to come back to help out. HC is not able to get the shot. Doesn't have head armor. He's going to get actually decimated there. Now it's all on Savage. And, well, not him anymore, as he does get the escape away from this. And Grayhound going to tie things up now at 2 apiece.
Yeah, this is also a pretty interesting position, actually, for CyberZen. I was going to sort of be like, will they buy or will they not? But they will, because I can see it. So, yeah, it's questionable, because it was the same in the last round where they had sort of 3 or 4 players around the right amount of money to fully purchase, and then 1 or 2 where it's questionable. And they're still in a similar situation where utility's minimal. They got Viva with an AWP and no armor. They have Savage just on an MP9. By the looks of things, the T's might be about to pick up the pace on them a little bit, and that could be a problem. Now, Bottle looking like he may take the face in towards the apartments. The smoke's gone down to give him a little bit of extra space, and Sterling trying to play around the edge of it. The problem is there's actually 2 players around this very angle, a third also around short, and by the looks of things, Grayhound are not willing to try and take that fight just yet.
No, it doesn't seem so. Viva's still going to have a smoke as well, so if they did want to try to push this location, it'd be definitely difficult to do so. But there's no Molotov either to really slow down the pace of Grayhound, who could just push through the smoke once that first shot comes down. In the meantime, CyberZen's A-hold has kind of been a little bit different, actually. I do like this early information. Allows them to give the calls for the rotates to come back, but we can also see the alert coming in out of multiple players out of Grayhound. So a delayed execute towards A, it looks like it will be happening. Which means I don't think CyberZen can really play for the retake because they have 2 players pushed up so far. Well, luckily for them, TB's backed away, but that's still going to be Savage up close and personal with the SMG like you pointed out before.
And the problem is that smoke's gone down quite late. They're going to have to go through it. He is waiting, drops the bomb as well, but the trade is effective. Still, there's multiple players here. TB, he's actually been let off a little bit there as the Molotov doesn't actually do anything. Now he's able to take the fight through the smoke, gets himself a double, and leaves it all onto Sterling. And the problem is he's only got 15 seconds. He has to go for the plant. That will be heard. You can see Viva looking to try and play this on the cross. Now, this is risky from Bottle. He has no support, but it doesn't matter. He wins the battle once again, and CyberZen will get their 3rd round on the board. Just looking to try and pick up any utility that he can as going into the rebuy in the next. That's what will be minimal for the CT side. Most needed to be rebought. For the T's, however, they get the bomb down. So they're actually going to have plenty of cash.
The one saving grace, even though they lose the round and more importantly lose the lead. Yeah, that position right there, just to push through the smokes. I mean, they had not much time left, so they had to hit the go button, right? But to expect a player to be that close to you.
Well, that's the excellent thing. I think another thing you always have to give Savage props for is his utility usage, or when he is the player that is focusing on utility. Like, he bought an MP9 in that round. He used it so well. That late smoke on 30 seconds forced the T's to run through it. They had no choice. Unless they wanted to execute with about 10 seconds left, it's just not worth it. So They had to go through it. He nets the first kill, drops the bomb, and that's another 5-6 seconds off the clock.
Oh. Nick Stacy being super aggressive. Speaking of that, okay. Well, that was short-lived.
Or who's the smoke gonna favor? Dexter. And he gets the second as well. Savage looking to try and trade that frag. Luckily, HZ is doing excellent work from that ladder room spot. Now, Malta's just waiting around the corner. He's waiting for some sort of flash. It is going to come, and unfortunately, he was looking right at it this time. Sterling's there with the AWP. Connects onto the first, but the trade from Viva through the steps leave it all onto Dexter once more. He's got to try and clutch this one out. They have absolutely no idea where he is and probably wouldn't expect him to be this close. HZ a little bit wary of the flank, but after spotting that out, they will look to push in together. No AWP in hand anymore, but he's looking to try and round the corner, spots out HZ. The defusal coming in, and Viva doesn't even know where his opponent currently sits. The clock burning further and further, and he wins the duel as well. Dexter now wins the clutch. The third round on the board for Grayhound, and the luxury that they had, CyberZen don't.
Gets a 4K as well, most importantly. And you heard on the desk, Pimp talking about he's the lowest rating in the series so far, and he's the highest rated player in the last 3 months. He needs to step up, and I think in that round, he was able to do just that. But one round won't win you games. Let's see if he can keep that pace as the series does go on. Actually, if I'm not mistaken, that was actually he had a couple of frags before that round did start. It's almost to the point where he actually got all 4. So he had one kill before the round started. All right, there we go. Math's hard, especially after casting 5 maps. But Sterling over to the MP5. No Banks is getting all giddy in the green room.
Yeah, giddy's always the word I would use to describe Banks. He's just a bundle of joy.
That's CyberZen, let's see. Pistols, and you can never count them out when they have pistols. The amount of times they've been able to show what they can do, and the amount of people they've been able to prove wrong in rounds that they should almost never win. Well, doesn't seem like it's gonna happen this time, though.
The one thing they can't beat, Jason's jinx.
They're gonna say something else.
Well, yeah, still doing a little bit of damage, and there's a few low players as well. Savage pushing into the connector. He's got to be careful because there is a man still sat behind him. He has managed to retrieve an MP5. Probably won't save him in this scenario. He has a kit onto Viva, but he's already opted just to try and save the scout, and they will be bringing that at least into the next round. Savage probably going to be executed the second he backs out of the connector, although actually Malta has stopped watching. Battle probably will result in absolutely nothing.
I was going to say, I feel like that's just a losing fight no matter what. You know, if you're Malta, you lose the AK and you have to buy it up. If you get the kill, great. You get an extra, you know, bit of money for yourself. We didn't really need the money anyways, so smart play him just to make sure to secure it. Dick Stacy as well, getting a nice double kill there. But 4-3. Look at Malta, actually. One of the first times we've seen... I think they actually heard them running over towards Palace as well. They heard 2 players. They actually heard 1 back away. It's a lot of free information, and how Savage, just like we saw in the last round of the last map out of Bottle, is just pushing it by himself with nothing. This time, Sterling's going to watch because the info they got before. Dick Stacy's been able to make his presence known inside the B side, playing ring around the Rosie here with HZ, and eventually he'll fall from behind to Bottle. But the A side's been taken, the bomb's going to be planted, and it's not like Dick Stacy really gave up much in terms of weaponry.
Yeah, he was just sent in as the sort of probing player. Obviously, if he found out that there was absolutely nobody there, then hey, they get to rotate and they don't have the worry of pushing into a stack. Instead, multiple players on the site, so they know they're safe to push into a pretty safe gamble from Grayhound. And
I feel like this chase might be unnecessary, though. Again, it's just a 5-7. There's no armor. They should be able to buy a decent amount into the next round anyways. You know, it's funny, by the way, for people who didn't know, there's actually... So, the Asia Minors finished over for the second stream. So they've actually transitioned over to the Americas Minor.
yeah.
Where it was Team 1 playing against, I believe, EU United, and last time I saw it was like 11-0.
So they will, yeah, they'll finish the next one. It has been a long one. All the maps played. And in this series as well, all of the rounds as well. full 30 either side, but we're now in our decider. Only one team can make it through to that playoff stage. Silent Molotov being used by the terrorist side. We're going to have the push coming in onto middle. Not much utility at all for CyberZen, and they don't really have any stopping power in this scenario. Nice work from HZ. Again, he's been effective over into that ladder room, but the entry's still coming in. HZ going strong as he gets himself a double. Malta and Sterling now left to try and push onto the site, and being on the bench is not the best case. However, that Molotov will force TB off of the angle and should allow him to cross over to the site to get the bomb down.
Flank coming in from behind. Will they expect Savage yet again to pounce against the last two remaining players? Malta's going to spot him out. He had a nade in hand. A cheeky play either way. Spot him. He drops in. Malta gets the frag. Now HC going to be by himself up against two. This is going to be a almost unwinnable situation, but hell, how these series have gone so far today, who knows what's going to happen. Finally, Malta put some sort of normalcy back into Counter-Strike. And Grayhound are up 6-3 now. This is a good lead. This is a good momentum for them. Their bank is built up. They got a lot of money to spend in the next coming rounds. And CyberZen are being the ones to force to change up their style to deal with how Grayhound has been able to take such a strong lead now.
I'm a little bit disappointed we're not seeing CyberZen go for like more aggressive plays. Like that was what was working for them initially, like pushing into middle, taking the fight versus the players at top mid, not allowing any of that control for Grayhound, because last few rounds it's been more mid control for them.
We did see Savage push Palace, you remember, a couple rounds before.
Yeah, no,
they got shut down. So I wonder if they're in their own heads of like, okay, they're aware of our aggression.
No, I understand. Like that aggression, I feel like is much more risky though. I feel like if you push middle as a team like the way they were before, where they have one man holding, you have the man pushing up to the top of mid, and it's more important in terms of actual map control because, okay, taking Palace away is great. If you could sit up there if they push A, fantastic, but just in terms of where the T's are actually going, I feel like it's been the big problem for CyberZen over the last few rounds. Alongside utility, of course. They really haven't had much of that at all.
Well, speaking about pushing middle, going to be pushing underpass. Was that hurt? I believe not. But Malta's going to watch it either way. That'll be Savage falling. We'll expect a second, though. That's going to be HZ still going to be there. The push is coming in towards B. HZ's not able to get the better. Sterling and Aircast just opens up on that B side. So this should be another round on the board here for Grayhound, going up to 7. And I think this is more of the Grayhound we were expecting in the series, at least at this moment. But I'm still not convinced that they're going to be able to compete against MVP tomorrow, because that would be their opponent if they do win this match.
The thing is, I'm not sure I agree. Just based off, it's difficult to play against a team like CyberZen because they don't play the Counter-Strike you're used to,
right?
The Counter-Strike you have played against. Whereas if it's into the more sort of standardized, yes, I think Grayhound should have the advantage because CyberZen have just been making ridiculous plays. The rounds they've won, as said, it was very aggressive, pushes up mid, catching players off guard, and some hero individual plays, which I think the likes of MVP, okay, maybe they'll have the odd hero play or the odd aggressive play, but I think it's things that can be scripted a lot more. The other thing as well is, if you know, on Mirage, so far, Grayhound's T side has actually been fairly good at coping with, as you said, the aggression that they've thrown in on other portions of the map, because it's much more expected on this map. Like, a man running down all the way through Banana and headshotting you while you're still set towards your spawn is not something you're going to expect. Yep. A man pushing top mid, a man pushing Palace, a man pushing apps, all of that is expected because not only has this map been in the pool a ridiculously long time, but also it's just fairly standard.
That actually makes me wonder, will Mirage ever be reworked?
Who knows?
Cobble was the last one, right? And that's still not back. Oh, that was so close to being a double kill. They sure as hell can use it at this rate. Again, utility's not really there for CyberZen. Dexter being given free reign over Palace. No one even in towards jungle at this point in time. A big 4-man stack out of Grayhound, able to get that full control and maintain it. I feel like they're trying to bait CyberZen into peeking something as well. Flash in. Allows Aircast to get control of house here. Almost want to see a cheeky window, you know, boost like we saw the Hunter boost back for Valiance in the EU minors.
Kissed. decides against going for the peak, but this is what I'm talking about. At the moment, there is no mid control whatsoever for the seed side. After the initial pick went in, or peak, they have not challenged it at all. And they are just trying to hold from fairly aggressive positions, just outside it, but just look at the entries from Dick Stacey. However, HZ still putting up numbers, still putting down players from Grayhound, and he's continuing. A third to his name, looking to save them here. Another big individual play, but Dexter turns things back. He's given them a chance, so he can plant for the connector. His teammate is ready and waiting, which he should be able to do. There isn't anybody around that angle. It's only going to be if they can actually cross, and that's what Urkus is actually watching for. And as the peak comes out, Savage is able to get the quick flick, but now he's got to deal with Urkus. He hits it as well. See you later, alligator. It's going to be another round for CyberZen.
I want to see that shot from his point of view. I'm hoping we're going to get it in their quick replay here after this round finishes. But yes, what a shot out of him. But also credit to Dick Stacey. That's the second time we've seen him open up the A side pretty much by himself, but he didn't expect HZ to be there and didn't expect HZ to pick up a triple. Look at that. Walks in, gets the gap there as well with a quick flick. And then HZ as well, just being able to stay alive for such a long time. There goes Savage with the first. That's... Okay, that actually wasn't as impressive as I thought it would be from the other point of view.
I think it's just
still a good shot, though.
It's still such a pixel angle to hit.
Yeah.
Only the face showing. He makes it look easy. I think that's the
that's a good point.
Either way, 7-4. CyberZen again off individual prowess are able to bring things back. Get their fourth on the board. We're going to see some aggression out in towards apartments again. They've got the sort of bait and switch with Bottle ready and waiting. However, we're still going to see the T's just waiting outside of A. A little bit of presence in mid, but again, as said, there's not really been much of a challenge. It's going to be Savage going for a bit of a later peak, but he's got to be fairly careful, as there is already a man behind the boxes. Without spotting anything, it gives him a little bit of a false positive here that maybe that position is actually clear. Let's take Grayhound. I think they're being a little bit more patient in this scenario, waiting to see if there's going to be any more aggression, any more map control taken, but CyberZen, they really have just changed. They've changed their style completely into just to sit back and relax and wait for their opponents.
There is a good opportunity here to reset them, if possible, considering CyberZen just won the last round. There's not a lot of money to spend. Savage is going to miss his shot, but Aircast he won't. TB does take down one before he does fall. And HZ, again, kind of like double stacked in this position, able to get one for himself. Looking for a second as the Palace player comes out. Aircast gets himself a second on this. Now it's going to come down to a 2-on-3. Bomb should be planted here. You can see Sterling. He's just hoping that no one swings around CT wide on him. And he will be able to escape this for now. It's going to come down to Aircast to watch his side from stairs. He's going to have to hit this shot against Viva.
Actually, the flash blinds both players. Sterling having to switch into that back corner, but there's no Molotov, and both players with AWPs. Not the best for this retake, and Sterling hits the shot onto Savage as well, leaving it all onto, well, him alone. Another one for him with the AWP, and doesn't quite manage to clutch it out. The bomb's fairly close, but the kit will be enough. It's going to be a fifth on the board for CyberZen as now they start to turn it back again.
How many times have we seen CyberZen just be able to claw tooth and nail to get back into these rounds, into these maps? We've seen them down multiple times over the course of today, and yet they've been able to just fight their way back, stop the momentum somehow of their opposing teams. I mean, honestly, if we look at it, both of these two deserve to move through at this rate. Both of them have played stupendously. And also realizing the fact that CyberZen, this is their 6th map. It takes a lot of energy and a lot of focus, and it's really hard to maintain that kind of level over the course of a day. I mean, yeah, you scrim 6-8 hours a day, but tournament play versus scrims is completely different when it comes to how much mental focus it takes, especially with what's on the line.
They look fairly chill. Yeah, of course the pressure is on. This is one of those situations where you do sort of talk about like not only the pride of it, but for Asian teams in particular, this is the chance to firstly get their sticker in the game, which the Chinese ones are always incredibly expensive because they are so damn popular. They know that their nation's watching at home with the 40 bajillion viewers. But either way, Savage is going to be there once more. Picks the initial man of Dick Stacey. HZ around the smoke as well. And now they are starting to almost get in the zone a little bit with some more aggression. Taking some presence onto shore. They handed it over to Grayhound for a little bit, but now looking to take the challenge once again. Bottle well placed, but peeks out and is caught. The thing is, though, there's still 2 players here, and this man has been phenomenal at finding kills. He'll be finished off as well with Viva in the corner, able to pick off 1, looks for the re-peek onto the second. The problem is, they've held Sterling in mid. Now, at the same time, you could say, okay, he's looking for rotations, but now Dexter just has to look to try and escape.
Still a lot of time on the board, though, left to work with here for Grayhound, as the bomb has been able to escape. I do like this play out of Savage, because worst case, they rotate towards A. I guess that's best case for you, technically. And you have an angle that they're not going to expect. Worst case is they go B, but you already have 2 players that are protected, and especially with them pushing out towards short yet again, TB can catch the bomb on Dexter, rotating through connector, and he's most certainly going to have an opportunity for it. But Dexter gets the shot! Savage now, can he stop the bomb from being planted? Are they going to expect a man to be in Palace? Is he even going to have an angle at this rate?
This is smart. The AWP well placed, but he hits the shot anyway! Sterling not quite aware, and Savage, he now knows where the last man is. He's got the rotation from his teammate coming through the connector. Dexter needs this kill, and he's not going to be able to get it. Another close round, but another where Savage just picking off a shot that you wouldn't really expect. I think it was more the fact that Sterling was just so surprised at the sort of wide peek out that he wasn't ready. I think 9 times out of 10 he gets that shot, and a bit of a mistake from the AWPer on the T side gives the 6th round over to CyberZen. Still ludicrous amounts of money for Grayhound, but over the last few rounds it hasn't made a difference.
I loved the awareness out of Dexter there too, because he was clicking away to try to kill Savage because he knew he was low on ammo. He knew he was low in his clip, so he had to commit to getting the tap on him. And he eventually did run out of ammo, and it did, of course, run out of HP at the end of things. But now CyberZen 1 round away from tying things up when Grayhound had such a great lead. And here's that middle push you were looking for.
Yeah, but the problem is, I was going to say, the problem is because of the smoke, Bottle will have to do it all alone. He does manage to still find the opener, but most of the time in these scenarios where the kill goes the way, or the trade comes in, the T's come out with the advantage. So it's going to be on CyberZen to try and turn things back once again. Still Savage is standing, and he's been really beginning to put up more and more numbers for his side. TB a little bit lackluster, especially after some strong performances previously in the day. But now again, we see the T's building up towards an A push. They've got the man holding in onto the underpass as well to try and stop any rotations. Although I would say CyberZen have been very safe with their rotations. I don't specifically remember too many players going through mid. Savage, though, this time going to be called off. And well, mentioned TB not performing. Can he step up in this scenario? Molotov's going to go underneath, but he still sits above. He's worried about somebody pushing in through Palace, but there's absolutely nobody there. They're all sat on ramp, ready and waiting to try and catch him off. He's going to go for the peek out. First, second the other way, but Urka saves his teammate HZ on spot to at least trade one back. The man will come pushing in through middle. Viva with the AWP, and he is caught with his pants down. There's now left onto HZ to do it all. And with 30 seconds, Grayhound aren't really that pressed for time.
They're not, but are they going to expect him to have rotated in from CT? Malta on the other side of this. If HG gets this frag, it would be massive, but he's not able to here. And Malta will help close that round out and take Grayhound to a guaranteed first half lead. But will it be 9-6? Will it be 8-7? I still think 8 rounds is pretty damn good on the T side, but at that same kind of rate, it could have been much bigger. Grayhound had a massive streak of rounds in this half. Looks like Grayhound gonna go for a timeout for themselves. And talk things over in this last round, make sure they close it out strong. Transition into that CT side with a bigger lead than they... Well, bigger lead than they could have had. With how that map was going. It took me a while to figure out where I was going with that one. It's kind of like a Michael Scott moment. Sometimes I start talking and I don't know where I'm going.
I'm hoping CyberZen have a bit more of a plan for the way they're going to be going out into this next round, because they don't have a particularly good buy. Pistols, 1 SMG, and a minute amount of utility. Whereas the T's are pretty much set in this scenario. Got the AWP, got great utility. And Oh, they do have a plan. It's going to be an aggressive push in towards the underpass. Malta will be ready and waiting. 2 players going to be coming his way, and he gets absolutely nothing. TB will be the one to find the opener. Savage also pushing through, but he's caught out. They have managed to retrieve themselves an AK onto Viva.
They're trapped down there, though, right?
Yeah.
Grayhound, no, there's 2 players in underpass. Thing is, they're not watching the exit from the other direction, which is actually what CyberZen could potentially go for. I mean, your TB of 12 HP might as well. And if they actually pushed that direction earlier, they would have potentially seen the bomb back towards T-spawn. But Bottle takes down Dexter with the Deeg. It's down to a 3-on-4 in favor of CyberZen, even though they didn't have the most pristine buy or any even close to it.
And they've retrieved the weaponry as well. And I feel like, at least in the case of Bottle, he's been performing fantastically. So him having an AK in hand is always going to be beneficial. We're going to see whether or not he will be able to do any more damage in this scenario, but it's going to be, again, a later push coming in from the T side. Looking like they're going to try and cut their way through short onto B. There's only 25 seconds up and coming on the clock, and it's not like last time where they were already in on the site. This time they're just gambling that one of them is further clear. They've gambled correctly, but HZ, once more, he gets himself the 1 Deeg, looking for a little bit as the trades do come in, but the time ticking away, and he's done so much damage. It's all left onto Sterling. He's only got 10 seconds left. He knows he has to try and take the fight. And while it's as close can be once again, an 8-7 half, our decider. And we'll be, well, maybe finishing this off after our break.
And we're back here, and I can almost guarantee, you know, I'm not even going to jinx it potentially here of what could happen, but this has to be our final half of regulation time. There, I'm not wrong. The Grayhound Gaming are up 8-7. Loser of this map has to go home. Well, technically, they both have to go home, but the winner gets to go through into the playoffs and have a chance to qualify into the major, which is just in a few weeks' time, actually, down the street from us here in Katowice, Poland, the Spodek Arena, waiting for another big event. Now CyberZen on the T side, looks like they're going to go straight for a B hit, and the gamble of Grayhound to put a 3-man stack over here is looking like it might pay off.
Because Ready waiting just decapitates one, but then meets the same fate, and so does his teammate Sterling, still on the site trying to hold on, but runs out of ammo. And we'll leave it onto Malta and Dexter to try and turn this back, but Dexter has managed to find an angle through the edge of the smoke. Nice shot from Malta as well to turn it into the 1 versus 1. But it's left between him and HZ, and Dexter will close it. A 9th round in for Grayhound. But the question is, will CyberZen force? I imagine the answer in this case will be no.
Remember, it's CyberZen.
Yeah, but they can buy AKs next round. Okay. And in this round, they can just buy like CZs, and it's the T side. I don't really see a reason to. Unless they really are just crazy.
Well, looks like they're not too crazy here. A couple of flashes, so probably just going to go for a... I wanted to say a contact push into A. And there's only one player there, actually. It's going to come down to, I believe, Malta to somehow hold on to this.
And it's a great chance for them to get a bomb down, and yeah, overwhelmed them completely. The bomb plant should be guaranteed. They're even going to get towards that CT spot, which is actually a little bit harder to clear than if it was just the sort of default play. So yeah, this really isn't bad at all. Any more kills come out of this, and well, you have to worry a bit for Grayhound. As said, there's AKs coming back, maybe even an AWP over how things have gone in this round. So firstly, they actually have to win it. Bottles managed to get a 2nd kill. This cannot happen. They are not allowed to get a Glock round. Dick Stacy coming in, trying to restore normality. Thank you. Someone on the server is just going to clean things up for us. 4 kills from him, but that, even just a moment where they were in a 5v3 and the bomb was ticking away, it took someone to do that.
It's Dexter's face. He's like, really?
Really?
You're just going to run in with Glocks and almost win the round? Come on. And hell, they almost did. Like I said, they got the bomb down. Are we going to see an AWP picked up out of them? No, but they're going to have a lot of utility behind their next play here. Oh, it's so disgusting right there. Just to see the ding, ding, ding.
Oh, it took a dick to stop them rocking out with their Glocks out.
Oh, 10-7. Grayhound. They did look good in the beginning on T side. Hopefully for their sake they can maintain this. The problem is, again, the weaponry is a little bit lacking compared to their opponents because of the bomb being planted and because of those frags coming in. AKs are clearly going to win out against the MP5 and the FAMAS.
Especially the MP5. Like, anyone who really likes that gun has to be a bit weird.
Probably from Manchester.
The way they are going to start their push on towards...
Oh, that's going to be nice.
B side, maybe.
I should just not talk, you know what?
A total of 0 damage. With a minute left on the clock, they do still look to sneak their way in. They've taken control of the ladder room. It is pretty much just going to be these 3 players to do all the work, because the rotation will take themselves a while. Well, thankfully the save came in. Now the push is going to come in from the T side. Dick Stacy still waiting around the corner, looking to try and do some damage, and does manage to snap. Tries to do the same he did in the previous round, but we'll get one less. Now the rotation is available. Bomb actually in a horrible position. They have to jump back up. Aviva's managed to snap back in. Savage with the same. And Malta now left all alone, slowly making his way through the market. The problem is, for the T side, he's taken so much time. They might actually expect him to be somewhere else, but, well, not anymore. 20 seconds left on the clock, and we know that Viva has to try and jump up here, taking the direct fight, and Malta will win it. 11th round on the board, way too close for comfort. But now the question is, do CyberZen buy again? Most of the players can get AK. Savage will be a little bit worse off. They did a lot of damage in that round. We're actually going to see them take a tactical pause. Maybe just going to talk over that idea.
I can't imagine how much pressure Malta feels in that situation as well. Like, Stacy was able to get 2 big frags. There's a lot of... I actually like the play out of Viva, by the way, to push in towards Kitchen, to ignore the guy bench, because obviously the guy bench is trying to stall for as long as possible to hope for the rotations to come in to help him out. So you just push straight into that fight. You get the frag, and then he's all by himself, tucked away in. So I don't know, I like that actual little play out of him. It just didn't work out as well. And you're wondering about the AKs, and it looks like they have decided it is a go. You haven't been able to buy up into that. Utility going to be a little bit light, but not too bad. Just wonder what they're going to actually look to do here in this round, because the B side, they've gone quite a few rounds now and it's been shut down. The A side again being left a little bit light with Malta to hold on. Again, they have 2 players towards connector. I feel like we're seeing Grayhound put more emphasis on middle, and at the same rate, I feel like CyberZen aren't really able to take as much real estate around there like we saw Grayhound do on their T side.
At the same time, I feel like both teams have been fairly passive with their mid control. Like Dexter is going to be the only real aggressor. Means he doesn't have a whole lot of support. Is he going to make the same? No, he actually tries to fall back and does manage to take one with him, which is more than was expected after that duel came in. At the same time, his teammates somewhat hung out to dry as they tried to push in towards this A site. Sterling going to be rotating in. They're actually going to boost over the top to try and deny any sort of plant if it was on the default spot. However, anywhere else, they can't really get the angle. They do spot the man throwing the Molotov out. Will they spot Bottle though? He actually has a chance to get 2. The first goes his way, the second, and the third from Bottle again. This man just steps up when needed. An 8th round almost looking secured, but Urkus has something to say about that.
Good, it's not just me that's limited to the commentator's curse. He gets a 4K in that round.
Just don't doubt Bottle. 21 and 13, top fragger in the server at the moment. He's had so many impact frags as well. And that was just massive. Like, the first couple you can put down to, okay, they didn't see him, but then the third man running around the corner was just decimated as well. The same for the fourth. 11 to 8, money just not there for the CT side. That was the sort of power of that buy, is that it was a risk, but the reward was resetting their opponents. Aggressive underpass play. HZ gonna come out with a load of kills, or none.
Covering all your bases there.
She is Beaver to round the corner.
You were technically right. There are a lot of kills or none, and he gets 0 on that one, but it doesn't matter because the team is going to be there to close out the rest of that. I like the play, though. I do respect how they went for a weird, aggressive kind of push there with 5 men. Just didn't work out the way they wanted to, unfortunately.
Yeah, I'm always a fan of, like, when you don't have much invested, just going for something really risky. The only problem is they don't actually have anything really to invest into this round either. They're going to be in the same spot. Just a few pistols. I quite like to see maybe a stack just thrown in, and by the looks of it, that's somewhat what they've gone for. They've left 1 man over onto the B site, and they've gone very aggressively into Palace, taking a lot of control. The problem is the T's are on the complete opposite side of the map. Now, Urkus can at least grab the info. His aggression will have been heard. Does hit the dink at least. Now the question is, will the T see that as a sign of, okay, there's nobody else here? Or see it as a sign as maybe this is some sort of bait, because it did seem like a very aggressive play. They're just going to go running into the site. I don't think CyberZen thinking as much as I am about it, like breaking down the round. They're just like, let's just go in and kill them.
Well, the thing is, we do have Dexter rotating in from behind them. I just wonder if he's going to look for exit frags. Yeah, just going to be tucked away here. Maybe pick up an AK and save, you know, some extra money into the next round. But obviously they're going to have more than enough to buy into will be our 22nd. To get dinked up on top of things. And, you know, you got to respect CyberZen. Like, every time I've seen them play today and think, yeah, well, they're down 7-0. Like, that's, all right, we're going to have a quick match. We're going to get back to the hotel, have a few drinks, you know, relax. No, credit to them to be able to pull it back together when things are tough. It's not easy to do. And I feel like, if anything, they're a very strong team when it comes to their mentality of not getting frustrated, keeping their emotions out of it, playing calculated, well, as calculated as they have been, not getting down on themselves. And that's something you definitely have to respect out of these guys.
I think that's something else I want to give over to Savage as well, because he is a man with a hell of a lot of experience. He's been around for a long, long time, and I think that he probably does just bring a calmness to this team, because he's always been quite a calm character as it is anyway. So, yeah. Tactic pause this time going to be taken by Grayhound. We're getting the full works when it comes to the talk-throughs, the coach being given a little bit of extra time, and this is where we finally see them with a big purchase. However, because of the way that the last few rounds have gone, CyberZen have been able to build up their own economy. TB's a little bit lower than everyone else, but the rest of the team are on around 5 grand or above, so they're in a good state to rebuy if necessary. The CTs do have the loss bonus starting to build up behind them, but at the same time, you sort of look at this and go, they're going to be the ones struggling, and they're going to be the ones with CyberZen just pushing this game to the limit. they're the ones under pressure. We've already said that since the beginning. Although CyberZen, of course, they've got the fans at home. They've got the people wanting them to get through. The pressure's on Grayhound. They're the ones expected, at least in this minor, to do much better. And say next time it's Tyloo and Renegades, they're going to have a much tougher time to actually get towards that major qualifier. This is their chance. This is their chance to really build themselves up as a team.
Well, into round 22, this is the first time I believe we're seeing Sterling with an op on the CT side. 18 and 14, and I mean, he's had some great shots over the course of the whole minor, let's be honest. But this would be a perfect time to have himself really shine here. Things are getting a little bit too close for them. I like this like delayed execute. They go for the set plays, the set smokes, but they're not making any noise behind it. Maybe trying to bait them into not rotate over, but here we go. The execution has come in. Malta going to be tucked away. Does get the dink on a bottle. Sterling going to be forced out with that fire.
Yeah, the problem is that the smokes are going to begin to fade for the T-Sun. They haven't got the bomb down. The connector smoke just not there at all, and that will allow Dick Stacey to get one on the cross. He's still sat there. Now, there is a rotation coming around from Savage, so if they have the time to wait, maybe he can get this kill, and he does. Impact once again. The remaining players just left over to CT, and they're just going to go running, but they don't have the time, I don't think. Yeah, they've got to double back. Like, they were running away with the bomb, thinking they could make it over to the other side. It's not going to be happening. Now they have to deal with Sterling, and there's only 10 seconds left on the clock. The bomb has to be going down. If he somehow manages to deny it, this could be the end, but Savage is there once more. The two most crucial kills in that round picked up by the leader. And, well, realistically, that's the reason they are sat 11-11 at the moment.
To correct myself, Sterling did have it in the round prior when we saw Bottle get that 4K. So he was boosting up his teammate.
Yeah,
but that was the first time he's been able to actually use the op. And he was only able to net himself 1 kill, so...
Yeah, he wasn't just a footstool.
Yeah, that's kind of what Blood is for me, is my arm stool. Just to, you know, whenever they get tired, just relax on his head, because it's a good height. But another underpass push coming through. TV's gonna be waiting, but it doesn't matter. He does get finished off here in Bottles. He's low on HP too, 4 health. Malta gonna back away on 5. Not able to recover that weapon. He's gonna run straight into Savage, who's most certainly gonna finish off this frag. Not before getting dinked up down to 1 health. So 2 players with combined HP of 5. There is another world here. There is a reality where Grayhound can take this round back. But just on the pistols. As you can see, CyberZen have not committed to any one of these sites. Definitely using their time to their advantage.
Yeah, I think hoping that maybe the CTs will take the initiative, be a bit more aggressive themselves, and here's what's happening. They've got to be careful. Savage on just 1 HP. He's able to pull back. The problem is that AK still sits on the floor, and Dexter actually rotating in towards the spawn. The man with the bomb only has 4 HP. So they could actually drop it. Bottle's so wary. But if he gets past this threshold, the site is completely clear. Sterling, ow. Oh my goodness! They needed to hit him for 1. Finally, Savage will go down. They will manage to retrieve both AKs, which is something at least. The smoke going to go into the connector, though. Sterling, he's not really got anything to lose, so might as well push through it. Now they need to be defending this bomb plant. A Bottle only on 4, but well, it doesn't seem to matter. And now Dexter is the one trying to spray through. He's found 2. He's managed to get the players who weren't even low through the smoke. Now he's left all onto Bottle, and this is the round that Grayhound managed to win. There was not much invested in this round at all, and that could be one of the rounds that really play a pinnacle part in Grayhound winning this series.
Those dinks coming through in the beginning of the round really paying off for him.
Do we have the clip of what Dexter did? Like, was there a gap in the smoke? Was he in front of the smoke, or did he just kill them straight through it?
He's just tired of this. He's tired of losing these rounds. He wants to win this game himself, it seems. Yeah, that scared me.
Yeah, he got both of the players who were on full HP.
Oh, like right there too at the end.
Thank you to the observers for getting that as well. Good. But yeah, that is just ridiculous.
We have Russian faith here, so credits to them for sticking with us. They've been here just as long as we have working on this. Sterling again with another opportunity, this time in the middle. But they haven't really been able to, well, I'd say this, CyberZen's been doing a good job of like avoiding Sterling, or at least keeping him out of the fight, whether that was intentional or not. He's only had really 1 shot to hit anything. And he's only been able to net himself 1 kill. Look at this, though. Talked about aggression on a Grayhound. I like seeing it on overpass. Is he going to be able to hit the shot here? Catches him with the flash out. Spots them both. Backs away smartly. And he still has Sterling there, trying to bait them in as well if he can hit this shot.
Yeah, I think the T's know it. I think they know that there's a chance that there's just somebody waiting to try and find those kills, but they are going to go back for a little bit more. And well, Sterling hasn't had much of an opportunity, but here it is. Manages to get a first, misses the shot, but TB's just going to execute his teammate. The trade really not that bad. Now there's going to be a peek around the short area, but Urkus actually just waiting in the window. The rotation has come in to at least gather an extra player over onto this A site. The late smoke going to make things a little bit more difficult. Now bear in mind, Bottle has the bomb on ramp. He's got no support. If he dies here, it's going to be very difficult, and his teammate goes down. I think Malta knows that there's got to be another player around this spot. TB's fallen. Malta just hoping that the smoke fades a little bit more in his favor, but it doesn't. It's going to be Bottle to find the opener, but he's left alone. 20 seconds. This shouldn't be possible. He's going to force him off the angle, throw the smoke to try and gain a little bit of control, but Sterling's just waiting around the corner. This should be a free kill, and Grayhound get their 13th. And now the money starts to play a little bit of a part into this one.
Talked about Sterling before. Not having many options to hit shots with the AWP. He does get 3 in that round. Yes, he misses the shot here onto TB, which does cause Dexter to fall, but he made up for it later on. Yeah, shot right there, and of course the finisher to prevent the bomb from being put down. So 13-11. CyberZen still able to buy up into this, and Savage actually going to pick up the AWP to probably go for a challenge out towards middle. Sterling's going to be there, and Sterling does have a little bit of a pixel to work with here. But CyberZen's being very cautious, trying to be very careful in case Dexter wants to go for the mid push another time. And like I love that Sterling like leaves right as they're about to come. Again, both teams, you can just feel the tension here between them.
Yeah, this is a massive round, especially for CyberZen. But both teams' economy not in the greatest of states. Mid control has been gathered, but again, it seems more so that the CTs have abandoned it rather than anything else. But the worrying prospect is how far Savage has managed to get in towards short. And you can see they've got connector control, but they're a little bit more hesitant as to whether they should fight it. But Urkus gets the timing absolutely perfect. Bottle waiting, given an opportunity, but well, a very slim one at that. And again, the clock ticking down. They're going to make their play on towards this A site. The slight rotation away from this corner, leaving Sterling on his own, and the ramp play could be crucial. Malta has to be careful from behind, but he gets 2 kills instead. It doesn't matter that he's been traded out, because Sterling's ready and waiting, and Bottle now has to be the hero once again, but hits 2 headshots. He'll be put down, thankfully. But this man at any moment just seems like he can pop off. He's on 28 kills.
I don't care if he's 1v5, I'm never counting him out. Dear Lord, with what he can do, it is ridiculous. CyberZen using their last time out here as Grayhound is on 14. The money, it's not really there. The question comes down to, do they want to go for the overtime, or do they still want to try to play for the win? Thing is, every time they've been in this situation, I feel like today, they bought up CZs and they've won the round. I can't, don't quote me on that, but that's how it's felt.
I feel like that's just felt that way no matter where. They can just buy whatever they want. They almost managed to win a round early with Glocks.
That is true. They got the bomb down.
They got the bomb down 2 kills, and they're in a 5v3, and it took Dick Stacy getting 4, I think.
They had to transform into Big Dick Stacy to get those rounds, because that was way too close. If they lost, I think morally they would have been devastated.
Oh, there's a couple of CZs, but by the looks of things, they're playing it safe. So CyberZen just going to be playing for the OT. Obviously, trying to win this one. They've still invested into Kevlar, and Wasp bonus isn't massive at this point. The question is, how much damage can they do? They've got to be careful. Dexter going to be going for that early peak, but is only met with damage, and Malta just going to throw down the incendiary to block off their path. Bottle left with the Deeg in mid, but doesn't really want to face off against the man in the middle just yet. They've left Sterling stationed up towards the back of that A site. He's been doing very well from that position, so I don't really blame them. He's been one of the main reasons that CyberZen have been completely locked out. However, here comes that split once again. The incendiary faded. Savage actually going to take down Urkus. That's over on the B side. He's just solo pushing in that direction. Trade's coming back in, still allowing for a 3 versus 3 as they do boost into the window. Dexter's got to be a little bit careful because I don't think he knows that TB has just managed to lurk back past that smoke. The real problem, though, is just this position in jungle. Still, though, Dexter's aware. That's a fantastic kill to gain. The problem is, can they actually trade him out? Yes, they can. The 2v2 ensues, and as you said before, there's no round that seems impossible for CyberZen.
Thing is, look where the bomb is. 30 seconds left to go. It's in T-spawn. They had a great position on the A site, but without the bomb to plant, they have to go back and get it. Will they rotate back towards B? Okay, so they will stick to this A site. They'll stick to where they've already gotten some frags, and they do have an M4 on TB. Viva. If he hits this shot, I think only dogs can hear how high-pitched I'm going to go. Especially if Sterling's going to peek from CT. He's going to be towards short, and he's connected onto Dick Stacey, down to 11 HP. Sterling's going to shut him down. The bomb's down, no time left to plant. They're going to run away, and Grayhound Gaming are on match point.
A little bit anticlimactic in the end after the shots they managed to hit, but the bomb was dropped. Grayhound, they take their 15th, and now we have the last-ditch effort for CyberZen. Otherwise, they are out of the tournament.
Thing is, all they had were pistols and Kevlar, and they still put it that close, yeah. Tom. Like, that's in an ideal world. That should not happen. We didn't get to see that shot, but I'll take a couple more of those if we want to see it again.
Yeah, they didn't know where the remaining player was, so they had to go for a risky plant, and well, that was enough for Sterling to put this to bed. Either way, they've got OT guaranteed. We haven't seen a map between these two, other than yesterday, where it didn't go to the full 30 rounds. 16-14, 14-16. Now we sit 15 and 11. The question is, can CyberZen pull this one back to overtime? You almost feel like at this point that the series deserves it. With the T set up outside of this A site. Viva, a little bit diminished in terms of weaponry, but still has a full bout of utility to throw in towards that site. They've switched things up with Sterling now taking control into the middle, and now the smoke's raining.
Well, Dexter was called out before about underperforming in the series. Let's see if he can change that here, and I'm just really cursing the hell out of him here. Smokes have gone down. The bomb's going to make its way in momentarily. Malta picks up a massive kill, but again, Savage on the lurk. He did this earlier on against Akis Club. So doing it yet again here. He actually runs back to T-spawn like he did before. The bomb's being planted, and Malta can't get the spray on towards him. It's going to be a 3-on-4 in favor of CyberZen after plant situation. I do like where Bottle is, though, tucked away in Palace. And this is going to be tough.
Yeah, they've actually got a second player lurking in through short, but he's so scared. The remaining player's going to be there. And yeah, I can't really blame them in this scenario. 3v4. You don't know where the remaining players are. Savage was obviously lurking around the backlines. He went all the way in, just round to Palace in the end, but that's the thing, Grayhound had no idea where he was, so they can't have Urkus pushing in through the connector just in case he's in underpass. They can't really have the remaining players pushing anywhere else because he could have just snuck in and gone jungle instead, so too many angles to check. Grayhound unable to finish it here. Now they do have enough, well, they sort of have enough money. Dick Stacey's got enough to buy himself. Somebody will have to drop for Dexter, maybe a FAMAS. It's not going to be ideal. It should be enough for them to put a fight up here, but this is probably going to be the most crucial round of the game.
I almost want to see like a 3-man push in middle out of Grayhound. Just take that control away from CyberZen, then back away, because CyberZen have yet to go for, I think, any sort of really aggressive rush within like the first 20 seconds of the round. So maybe that's an opportunity for them. I'm not going to be going for it because, I mean, they're smarter than I am, so I can't judge them for that. But Sterling still going to have an angle in middle.
It's patience from the T side. And they do have a little bit more mid-aggression, as you said, but I think that may be due to the fact that their utility is definitely not in the best state. Malta may have a bit of company coming up soon, but the fact is the push from Urkus could give them a lot of information at the same time with TB waiting. It may just hand the initial frag away. I'm hoping there's a flashbang or something coming. It looks like he's just going to try and dry peek, but after being spotted, the risk not worth the reward. In the meantime, we do see the Palace push. The timing not quite working out for Malta as he fades away, but he will survive. And actually, there goes Savage. He's the man who's always been the pain in their backside. Instead, now the rotation can come in. They've pushed all the way through the apartments. The T's somewhat hesitant as they probably know there's going to be multiple players waiting on this site. In fact, at the moment, there's 4. However, if TB can get this kill, they could try and swap back, but Dexter goes big. A second kill for him. Dick Stacy trying to spray wildly with the UMP, but it may not matter as he's got so much support. Still, though, the T's fight back, but it's more worrying the clock, and they actually nading themselves at this point. They've got completely bogged down, and HZ is now left to finish this, and there we go. Nice little player cam to show the victory from Grayhound. It's been a long-fought fight, as they had a 16-14 win, a 16-14 loss, and then a 16-12 victory to take them through to the playoff stage.
No celebrations, though, as you're seeing. There's some fist bumps, but I think that's more of a sigh of relief, considering how that series went, how close it came down to, and I think a little bit of worry in their eyes of realizing we have to play MVP tomorrow. I mean, obviously they made it through into the playoffs, yes, but they're playing an even more difficult team. But shout out to CyberZen. Thing is, you could never count them out, whether they have pistols, whether they have Glocks, whether they have the most odd buy in the world, or an auto sniper coming in from Savage. It was great to see them play. I was happy to see it, and Tom, I hope you enjoyed it as well.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Either way, we are going to be handing it off to the analyst desk to, again, try and break that one down.